Hi everyone, it's Tara. So today I'm going to share with you how I would go about putting together a purse charm. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, so hopefully you find this helpful. It's not really a tutorial, it's more of just my process and how I would normally do things. I will link you to some tutorials that I have found helpful and hopefully you guys may benefit from as well. So let's get started. The first thing I do is I pick out my color scheme for my beads, and more importantly the top bead and then the bottom bead, and if I want to have a dangle on that. So in this case I'm choosing a simple design, and what I mean by simple is that I'm not doing like long bead dangles. I'm just choosing one bead per pin, I guess you can say. So first thing after I choose my beads is I want to attach the clasp to my chain. And so I've already done a tutorial on that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on it. I will link it. I'll put it somewhere like up here so you guys can click on that and see that purse charm tutorial. The only thing I did different, which I'll point out, is that is the way I added the chain. So let me just do that real quick. Alright, so I use 20 gauge wire, and I'm just going to cut off the length here. And I usually just chop off more than I think I'll need. So let's see. Hopefully my camera will stay focused and, like I said, stay in frame. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm just going to add my clasp here. So I was thinking about how I was going to do this tutorial. I wasn't sure if I was just going to do like a fast play tutorial or kind of walk you through every single step. I'm thinking I'll probably just do a little bit of both. So let's see. These charms normally take me hours to complete. I've never done one in one sitting. Usually because I start and I stop and then I do a bunch of stuff in between. But okay, so that's on there, and then I choose my bead that I want at the top. This is what I meant by you choose your top and bottom bead. So I'm just going to put that rondelle on there. And if you guys have never wire wrapped, and this is the reason why these charms take me so long, is because I wire wrap them, which I like doing because it gives it strength, and I know that the beads aren't going to fall off. Adjust my lighting here a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to link you to a video that she does a great job on showing you how to wire wrap, in case you haven't never done it. And it takes practice. It does take practice, so don't get discouraged. You just have to keep at it, and you know, it becomes easier the more that you do it, I think. So I'll snip that off and pinch that close. These are flat nose pliers or chain nose? I think flat nose. I'm not sure. I'll try to tell you guys all of the tools that I use as I go along. So I'm just going to straighten that out. Now the difference between this, how I just attached this, and how I attached my purse charm in the other video is that I added the chain on here before I wire wrapped that bead around, but I found an easier way to do it, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so we got that, and now you have to decide how long you want your chain. So I want 8 links, so I'm just going to count out 8. So on that 8th link, I'm just going to grab that, and I'm feeling for where the opening is. All of these chains have openings, you know, they just open and close like a sort of like a what is that, a jump ring. So on the 8th one, I'm just going to open this up, and you want to open it just how you would open a jump ring, side to side, not pulled open. And I just open it up a little bit. I don't want to open it up too much, and then I pull off that excess chain, and then I'm going to take my clasp portion and put that right on there, and then close it back up. Like that. Okay. Alright, so that is that part. So next I'm going to attach the bottom portion of it. So I chose this large bead, and generally I like to use a larger bead than the rest of my beads because you want that to be like your focal point. Okay, so I chose this bead here, and I'm so sorry about that shadow. My lighting's not very good today, you guys, so please just bear with me. Alright, so for this one I pulled out this snowflake charm that I think I want to dangle from the bottom. So in order for that to happen, I like to put the dangle on first. Now you can use, what are those called? You can use jump rings to attach your charm to this eye pin. This is an eye pin. Okay, but I'm just going to attach it straight to the eye pin, and how I do that is I just open it up. I don't know if I'm going to use these. So I would open it up the same way that I open a jump ring. Move this out the way by just twisting it open like that. You see that? And then add the charm. Hopefully the opening is big enough, which I don't think it is. I have to open it up a little bit more, like so, and then we're going to close that back up. Like that. Okay, so that's on there. And now I'm going to add my bottom bead. So I have a, let's see, so this design I just chose to use these smaller beads and then this bead in the middle. So on that portion right here, I'm just going to add this small pearl bead, this large hole bead, which is why I chose to add the smaller beads. So it kind of sits on there nicely. And then again, I'm going to add this larger bead, this small bead on top like that. Okay, and then I'm going to wire wrap this. Make sure everything's straight. Oops, sorry. Sometimes these are kind of, depending on the thickness of your wire, they may be a little hard to wire wrap. So in that case, I like to use some additional tools to help me wrap that around, especially when the wire gets short like that. It's hard to wire wrap it. So, I'm not a professional, you guys. I just have learned a few things along the way that make creating these a little easier. Okay, let me snip that off. Oops. Okay, so that's snipped off. Alright, and then, see, this looks kind of wonky, and I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of not straight. But I'm going to pinch that little tail closed first, because I don't want it poking out. And then I'll go back in and sort of straighten this part out a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Let me pinch that a little more. Okay. And so that is going to be the bottom part of, I'm just going to attach this part to the bottom of my chain here. And again, I'm just going to open up that link, just feeling for where the opening's at. Okay. And I'm just going to twist it open just like I would do a jump ring, and then slide that piece on and close it back up. Like so. I'm just feeling to make sure it's even. And so then that is that portion of it. And this looks like it's a little bit longer than I may have wanted, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Is wire wrap my beads. But before I do that, I wanted to show you these knotted head pins that I made. And I recently found a tutorial. It's a great tutorial. I'm going to link it down below and also probably right here somewhere, so you can check that out. But she shares how to make your own knotted head pins. And I like that they're all different and they're kind of funky, and I think it just adds a little something to the charm. So I recently started doing these, so I'm definitely not an expert and I'm still kind of practicing, but I like the fact that I can control the gauge of the wire by making my own head pin, and also the length. So for her tutorial, she used 26 gauge wire. I'm using 22. I found it not easier, but I like the thickness of this wire better than the 26, which is much thinner. Okay. Oh, and also I apologize. I said I was going to tell you the names of the tools that I was using and totally forgot. So these are nylon jaw pliers, and they're great for straightening out your wire. So I'm just going to straighten a piece out here. And I normally just cut off, I guess, about 4 inches, which is more than I need. So I'm going to snip that off. And I'm going to use my round nose pliers. Now I have a couple different ones that I use. So these are some round nose and these are some other ones. I like using these for making the coils. I don't know why, they just work easier for me. So following the same method as in the tutorial, you just make a couple coils around, and when you get to that second, wrap or coil, lift the wire up. I'm sorry, I'm off frame here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then I'm going to take the bottom or the top of that wire and feed it back through. And what I found while doing these, so these are my flat nose pliers, I think I said that already. I'm just going to grip the bottom of that, and as I pull the wire through that hole, I'm kind of straightening out as well. So I can grab it from the bottom and pull, but then you see how it gets bent up like that? So then I just kind of turn it just to make sure it's straight. Like I said, I'm still kind of learning how to do this, so they're not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Just pull a little bit more here. That's pretty good. And this wire is way too long, but then you just take those, what are these called again? Nylon jaw pliers, and straighten the wire out. And so this is way too long, so I'm just going to cut that piece off. Okay, so then that's your knotted head pin. And like I said, I like how it's kind of funky and they're not going to be all the same. So that's 10 beads here and a couple of bead caps that I'm going to add to the white pearl beads. So once I get these all wire wrapped, I will come back and show you how I put them on the chain. After I wrap the beads, I lay them out to see how I want them to look on the chain. So I just alternated the pearl beads with the rondelles, and I have the larger beads in the center and the smaller beads at the top and the bottom for balance. I chained those pliers, and I just have a piece of masking tape on there because the inside is serrated, so I don't want to mess up my chain. So I'm just going to feel the top of, or feel for the opening in the link, and then carefully open that up. And I only want to open it a little bit, not too much, because it doesn't take much to put those beads in there. Alright, so then I'm going to pull this remaining chain off, add my first bead, put the chain back on, and then add my second bead, and then close it up. So then I just continue on like that, all the way up the chain. When I get to the last link at the top, this is where I normally add my charms. So I'm going to add my pearl bead. I have this Made with Love charm. I'm going to put my clasp piece back on and have this other heart charm and my other pearl bead. So this is the part where it can get a little fumbly just because there's a lot of stuff on this link and I don't want to drop it. So I carefully close it back up. Looks good. And I'm liking the way that everything is hanging. My camera died on that very last part, but the only thing I did was add a little piece of white elastic lace at the top. And I'm really liking the way that this charm came out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this process. I know it seemed like it only took me a couple minutes to put this together, but honestly I worked on this all day. So I hope you guys found this helpful. And I know I sped a lot of parts up, but you know, if you refer to those tutorials, you can see exactly how to wire wrap. Really my point of doing this was to just show you my process and how I put the beads onto the chain without using jump rings. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am feeling really under the weather, as you can probably tell by my voice, but I wanted to get this video out there so you guys can see, you know, how I put a charm together. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you think. I'm starting to get comments again, or notifications from YouTube when I receive comments, so please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.